Well, I've played Stellar Blade, and it's game of the year. I'll tell you why. First off, I die a lot in the game because that's how I play games, man. I die a lot. And but the game is not hard. I'm hard, but the game's not hard. I make it hard, but the game's not hard. But the game's not easy. The game is game of the year. So the gameplay. The gameplay, it's like the people who made the game plays the same games I play. Play the same games I play, and their philosophy of gaming is, yeah, this is just dope. We're just gonna do something dope. Yeah, it makes the game easier, but it's dope. The game's hard, and we're gonna make it easier, but you gotta be good. It literally hits every note. And I'm talking about gameplay. I'm talking about button pressing. I'm talking about the roll dodge and all the other things that they built off top of that. What is that shit called? Blink? So, this is what goes on when you play Stellar Blade. The game is very, very, it's real. It is visceral. When you swipe your sword, it's fantastic. It's very whimsical, but it's realism. It's believable. It's flashy, but the flash comes from a place where you can believe, like, that's how it would work. That's how it would be. So you're fighting monsters, and you can roll dodge out of most shit, and that's what I like, right? You can roll dodge out of most shit. You can counter, but they reward you for doing the counter. With, you get this energy to use your abilities. I forget what the shit is called. Doesn't matter. I don't know what it's called. But when you countering is a part of the game. You want to counter. You don't have to counter. You can get by without countering, but you're going to want to counter to use your abilities more, to do a shit ton of damage. And countering is easy. It's very easy. Some may say too easy, but I don't think it's too easy. I think it's perfect. If you make game mechanics around countering, you want to allow players to have access to countering, and you want them to feel rewarded for countering, so you make it a little difficult. You make it more difficult to roll dodging, but you make it difficult to roll dodge because you want to use your abilities, and roll dodging doesn't work for everything. Right? Yeah, it's it's very thought out. It's like, it's easy. It's easy. It's easier than Rise of Ronin. But it's still a hard game because I die a lot. Now, you're not just spamming the attack button, but you kind of can, as much as you can in a Dark Souls game, in an Elden Ring, in a Bloodborne, in a Sekiro. Maybe not a Sekiro. maybe a Sekiro. I think you can spam the attack button just as much as you would in those games. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't just spam the attack button. There's combos, and you're rewarded for those combos visually and statistically. If you use triangle, triangle, square, square, you give more damage, and you see this cool ass combo that's like, yo, it's very different. It adds variety to gameplay and the specific mechanic that you're interacting with, which is the attack button. It has a shit ton of variety in monsters. In each monster, you have to kind of learn certain things. And each thing you have to learn kind of changes based off of what ability you want to use within that system of attack. If you want to blink, there's another one, I forget the name of it. There's another ability. It's kind of the same as blink. So blink is, they do a unblockable move. And this is crazy because I had to go into Reddit because the game explains things very, I don't know. It was hard for me to understand. But you have to hold forward. And your sword's gonna flash. And you press circle. And you immediately like teleport. There's like a small, slight cutscene. You teleport behind the enemy, you get advantage, but not too much of an advantage where you can just spam this shit. And each enemy timing is different, so it's like you kind of gotta learn a little bit of the timing of the blink. And guess what? You can invest skill points in that, and it makes it easier. Because you should be trying to blink because bosses do it. Everybody does it. Small enemies, mid-sized enemies. Now, I've been seeing a bunch of guides to beat the first boss, and I'm like, why? Why are there guides? The games might be hard for some people, to be honest. This is not a button masher, and this is not one of those action RPGs where you can just roll dodge out of everything and spam the attack button. You don't have unlimited potions. I think the game would be way easier if you had unlimited potions, but you don't. Now you can buy a shit ton of potions, but you're not going to want to because they're kind of expensive, see? So the game has ways to make it where you can get through it if you're having trouble, but it costs a lot. It's not an easy game, but it's not a hard game. It is a perfect difficulty setting that, I would actually, because you have, I think you can unlock the hard mode, right? Nightmare mode or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish they had us, like, because when you first play the game, you have normal, then you have like story mode. Normal is hard, but it's not hard in a bad way. It's not impossible where you can't even fathom killing this motherfucker, bro. Like in Rise of Ronin. I'm telling you, Rise of Ronin is fucking weird and hard. It's bad hard. Still a good game. Lore. Lore is dope because the lore is presented to you in layers, right? You have the very beginning, and the character's put in a position where she literally doesn't know what the fuck's going on, just like the player. And as she learns, you learn. And what you learn is that there's factions of beliefs, factions that are actual factions, like, you know, people who are in line with Mother. What's it called? I don't even know what the fuck that shit's called. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck that shit's called. It doesn't really matter. I don't like spoiling things. But there's a group that they're aligned, you know, basically the government. And then, you know, they have, there's the people who the government abandoned, right? And Eve is caught in between of this, right? Eve is the main character. And as you pick up, you know, this lore is told through cinematics. But also, if you're like me and you pick up everything, you learn little things. And you learn that everything isn't black and white and all that good stuff. And you kind of actually wonder where Eve falls on this. Because she doesn't even know herself. Because, you know, everything is fucking blurred. And I like that. It's very interesting. You know, the inciting incident that was a catalyst for the entire plot of the game really hooks you. It just fucking hooks you. It's like, god damn it. I don't want to spoil shit, but I'm sure most people already know by this time. But yeah, man, compared to other games that came out this year, it's better. Other games are better in other ways, but overall, I doubt that there's going to be a game that comes out in the fall and the winter that's better than Stellar Blade. So, Stellar Blade is Game of the Year. Fuck all the controversy and all the censorship. Who gives a fuck, man? Most of us shouldn't have even known that shit was going on in the first place. I am Muten Gaming. Stellar Blade is Game of the Year. The Muten has spoken.